And that's why it takes me so long to kick out a video, because that's a lot of shit going on, you know? Gotta set up a little slider, then you gotta arrange all the lights, but it looks pretty. So here's what's going on. So today I decided to go ahead and start chopping up the front bumper on the Rebel. And we are gonna be doing a winch install shortly, not today, but I wanna do some good off-road lighting. Originally I wanted to put an Onyx 6 light bar behind the bumper made by Baja Designs. That thing kicks out about 39,000 lumens. Its footprint is a little bit too large to fit behind the bumper, and the curve of it doesn't really match the curve of the bumper. It would look a little awkward, and it would just be too tight of a fit, especially with the winch going in there. So the next best thing was to go ahead and get a bunch of these little Baja Designs S1s. So I've got 14 of these, and I've got an array. I've basically got the whole assortment. I'm gonna be running 8 ambers, 2 works, 2 wides, and 2 spots. But these little guys, they push out around 2,300 lumens, maybe 2,375, somewhere around there. A pair of them is 200 bucks, and an Onyx 6 bar is about, and a 40-inch is somewhere in the $1,700 range. So 7 pairs of these runs around 1,400 bucks. Almost pushes out the same amount of lumens. I think in total, these things will be pushing out around 33,000 lumens. Overall, it's gonna be a massive light output, especially for this particular setup, and it's got a really small footprint to it. All right, so I'll go ahead and show you a little bit about what I got going on here. You can see this is gonna be outside edge. It's the center. So basically I'm gonna chop a big window right here, and then you can see I've got this chalk line right here. That's basically telling me once this is removed, that'll tell me my limit line for where I don't want to go past if I place any spot welds. So the idea there is any additional welding I can do on the backside of this bumper to give it its strength back, since I'm going to be removing, you know, a lot of meat from this. I want to be able to do so without having those spot welds shine through the powder coating. And now I could go ahead and do all the necessary welding and not really give a shit what shows up, but then I'd have to get the bumper powder coated, and I really don't want to go through that. I'm trying to make this a quick and painless process. And so that's it. That's basically what's going to happen. We're going to chop a big 2 by 40-inch window out, and we're going to build a mount. It's going to sit back there, and it's going to hold 14 of those little S1 lights, and we're going to retain that factory look, but it's going to be a unique factory look. So I'm pretty excited. Let's go ahead and hop to it. Okay, bumper's off. As you can see, it's just a handful of nuts and bolts. I'll go ahead and show you some specifics on that. 3 nuts on this side. 3 nuts on this side. You've got your main wiring harness connection. This is going to connect your sensors if you have the parking sensors and your fog lights. Break this loose, those 3 nuts. I think now what I'm going to do is get my exact measurements and start cutting.
This is how it's gonna be. This is what you think of me. It's going down like I told you. This is how it's gonna be. I'll be the last man standing here. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, one of the things that I did to make this a little bit smoother with the cutting is I went ahead and grabbed a piece of this cold forged 1/4 by 1/2, and I anchored that to the bumper before I started cutting. So this served as a straight edge for my cutoff wheel to go ahead and slide down. So I would recommend that if you are going to try to do this to get something similar. The reason why I'm using this is because it's beefy enough that it takes a lot for the cutoff wheel to be able to walk sideways through that. So I can press against this pretty firmly and come out with a pretty clean edge.
I'm the baddest mother up in here, and I'm about to make it clear. It's going down like I told you. I'm the baddest mother up in here. Let me see you turn it around.
Here's a fun little fact for you. I once did a stunt for this show on Spike TV called 1,000 Ways to Die, where I huffed a bunch of paint and then they set me on fire. All right, that's enough dicking around. Go ahead and show you what we ended up with. So here's the bracket with all the lights bolted onto it, and you can see we've got a lot of bracing going on in the corners. So with this bracing in the corner, that ties up here back to the bumper. For the middle support, I actually have a bracket that helps tie everything back to the bumper insert. So that sets on there, and then we've got 5 nuts that tighten that up. The bracket slides in with the lights pre-installed. This has a couple riv nuts right here. So that lower bracket ties into this main bracket, and then this tab ties into the top of the bumper, and that just kind of helps make everything nice and rigid after putting a big hole. So got everything wired up. Now the only thing left to do is get the bumper bolted on and see if these things are as bright as the sun. So let's go ahead and do that. Nighttime? Daytime? Nighttime? Daytime? So as you can see, that's a major difference. So that's what 33,250 lumens gets you. Let me go ahead and switch on the headlights so that you can take a gander at what we're competing against. So this is the low beams on with the fogs. See if you even, yeah, you can kind of see the fog start to fill in the ditch a little bit. And then we'll throw on the high beams. You can see the high beams, it fills the center end just the slightest bit, but overall these Baja Designs lights are just washing them out. And so this is with the lights off, and you're gonna notice that the camera's gonna try to adjust the ISO for the Baja lights getting turned off. And turn them back on. Go ahead and show you guys what the front end is looking like, all illuminated. So I think it came out pretty clean. You can see you got some pretty straight lines in there. Front bumper's all jeweled out, bedazzled. That's 33,250 lumens of light. And I am overall, I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. Holy shit, these things are bright. I shouldn't have looked right at the lights. I feel like Gizmo now. But that's what I did with my day. Chopped a big old hole in my bumper and shoved 14 Baja Designs S1s in there. you know, it's not something that I would recommend you run out to your garage and start doing right away unless you kind of have a really good skill set with metalwork. And a quick update on the Falcon Shocks Part 2 that is coming out. I'm gonna be in their facility within the next couple days. We're gonna get some footage of how their shocks are assembled, how they do the dyno testing. So look forward to that. That's gonna be an awesome segment. And I think the next thing I'm gonna do for this is get that Switch Pro wired up. That way I can isolate some of these pods. I can flip on the works without flipping on the spots, flip on the ambers individually. So that's gonna be a really awesome mod. I'm gonna go ahead and do a video on that. And once again, I wanna thank Paul Rogers over at Swarfworks for getting me these lights. If you're in the neighborhood for some Baja Designs equipment, hit him up. The guy is gonna take care of you. Awesome dude. So that's it. That's it from me, and that's what I did with my day. So I hope you're out having fun, and I'll see you on the next one.